There is a space good golfers, elite golfers get into that is a very magical space. Everything feels so simple, so easy, so free. Now, you know what's going on with your swing when this happens, but what's going on in your mind? Let's file down and take a real close look at this so you understand the dynamics. Pick a city you've never been to. I'll pick it first. Florence. Always wanted to go. Love the food, love the art. So I'm planning a dream vacation. So what do? I get on the internet, I look at all the pictures of Florence. Then when I get to Florence, I am immediately comparing, when I see something in person, what I saw on the internet. Oh, that's what it looks like. Oh, it looked different. It looked different on the internet, but now I really know what it looks like. So when you do this, you're in the comparative mode of the mind. You're comparing what you saw on the internet to what you're actually seeing in person. Now, this is great when you're planning a dream vacation. It is not good at all when you're trying to produce fluid motion. Now, everything I say to you now in this video is based on the foundation that you'll always default to the DNA goal. The DNA goal in a sport is something, it's the goal you never have to think about it. You never have to remind yourself to hit the fairway, hit the green, or make the putt. You never tee up a ball and say, okay, I'm going to hit it out of bounds. No. You'll default to the DNA goal. So let's say you have a 150-yard shot and you take out whatever club. You're going to hit 150 yards. Would you bet $100,000 that you're going to get that ball within 10 feet or 15 feet? No. You have a 15, 18-foot putt. Would you bet $100,000 that you're going to make the putt? No. So if you're really honest with yourself, you don't really know what's going to happen on that shot or that putt. You hope something good happens. You hope you get it close to the pin. You hope you make the putt, but you don't really know, and the pros don't really know. So if you're really honest with yourself and you're over that ball, you don't really know. But if you tell yourself, I'm going to get the ball really close to this pin. I'm going to make this putt. It's what people do all the time. Then what happens is you're setting up the comparative mode of the mind. You're activating the killer in a swing, which is the prefrontal cortex, the intellect. The intellect goes online. And the PFC, prefrontal cortex, has to compare, and this is happening in microseconds during the swing, it has to compare what you expected to do to what you are actually doing during the shot. And in that comparison, that's when the flow of intelligence between the mind and the body starts to shut down. And that's when you do some crisis management on the way down, or the bulkier core level of the muscles start to dominate. And this is not good. But if you're over that ball and if you're over that putt, and remember, you're always going to default to the DNA goal. You're always going to default to getting it close or making the putt. And the last thought you have is, before you pull the trigger, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Now, you can only have the comparative mode of the mind when there's two. You cannot have the comparative mode of the mind when there's one. So what happens is the intellect goes offline. You know that feeling. You know that space. And then the body is free to do what it wants to do. Now, the reason why you set up the comparative mode of the mind is you're equating attention, focus, and concentration to execution. You really get focused on getting that ball close to the pin or making that putt. And you're equating focus with execution. Focus does not equate to execution. Obviously, there has to be some focus, but most people are way over-focused. And when you're way over-focused, then you set up the comparative mode of the mind. The comparative mode of the mind is a killer in a swing. Now, you think about when you played your best golf. Did you set up the comparative mode of the mind? No, you did not. And I always refer back to the gold standard of zone quotes, Tiger's quotes. There have been cue shots in major tournaments where I took the club out of the bag and I didn't remember anything, until I saw the ball in the air. That's the non-comparative mode of the mind. His intellect went offline. His body was free to do what it wanted to do, and it usually turned out very, very well. Okay, give it a try. Hope you understand deeper levels of dynamics of what happens when you're zoned in and playing well. Have a great day.